so ignore the paper all over the ground. We just finished rally videos. But somebody asked me to do a video on how you teach a heel. And I'm not very good at doing this to myself at a camera, so bear with me. But there's several different ways you can do it, and I'm going to try to show you all of them. And this is my little demo boy, fat boy, and he's going to help me out. So one way that you can do it is, he's just on his flat right now, and you can take a treat and just have him walk beside you saying heel. And you can periodically give it to him. Stop with heel. Okay. Good boy. Now I say heel, but his command is actually with me, and you'll see that he didn't quite understand what I meant when I said heel, just because heel's not his word. So whatever you want to use as your word or words to get them to heel, it's fine. If you wanted to say popcorn, and popcorn means heel, go for it. That's the best way, honestly, because they get the reward as they're doing it. Another way you can do it is just hold the leash so they don't have too much slack at first, and just with me, and as they walk with you, you can loosen the slack. Walk with me today is literally stand up and walk with me, but you can do it that way. Another way, if your dog is old enough, 6 months for slip chains, and Fat Boy actually has a slip chain on, so let's choke chain. Now, usually it's not recommended to keep them on them all the time. I will be very honest with you. Both of my boys have them. I use them as like a safety thing, so if their regular collar is off, they still have another collar. But here's the slip chain, and it doesn't hurt. And you should never be pulling on it this hard, but it doesn't hurt. But it's designed to, you know, slip and tighten to give leash corrections. So, I'm going to put it on him, and whatever side you want, let me see if I can get him up here. Ugh. Whatever side you want him to heel on, that's what side the chain, like the pull part, comes on the chain. So if you can see through all his fluff, usually have them walk on the right side. So it might be flipped for you guys based on camera angle, but so it's on his right, and it's to the side, not up top, to the side. And then get the leash, you attach it to that chain, and then you use your command, so mine's with me, and it tightens if he pulls versus staying in a nice heel. And then, you know, you can just keep repeating with me. I forget that he oftentimes doesn't need it, so I forget to do it. But there's that option. And then, you know, once they get the hang of what they're supposed to be doing, then the leash will, you know, tighten up and soon you're doing a loose leash. I personally, sorry, there's a car horn in the background. I personally don't like a super tight heel, but it all depends on your preferences. He does a natural type heel a lot of the times, and I trip on him just because I have a hard time with peripheral vision. So it all comes down to what disabilities you have, what you need, your personal preference. The other thing you can do if the dog is 6 months is a prong, and he actually has one of those too, so I'm going to go get that. Okay, came back with the prong. His obviously doesn't have very many links on it because this is already a 2.25. He was on a smaller one, so I kind of have to add and remove, well, I don't remove any, but I have to add links depending on if, you know, how his neck is deciding to be. But, as most know, I'm a balance trainer, so I believe in using tools and using them correctly. This is something else, 6 months old. I personally leave the rubber tips on. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Except for the one that goes through here because it won't fit. But you can take them off and it can give like a little bit harder correction. But just because there's lots of people who claim it's abusive. Obviously this isn't going to fit around my own neck, but I can put it on my arm. And even, you know, the way it is with more lengths, it doesn't hurt. Again, you're never going to be pulling on this as hard as I'm about to. Not going to happen, but just so you can see. Now this is called the live one. So it, you know, does more, whereas this one doesn't pull it as tight, but like it doesn't hurt, and like it only leaves marks on me because I have super sensitive skin and I don't have fur. That's another option. So I'm gonna put this on him and I'll show you it too. So you want to, there's two different ways to do this. However, tends to be debatable. So let me show you. Maybe. Okay, so, like I say, he's got a lot of fluff. But you want to do it, so these are at the back of the head. You can do high and tight for more harder corrections, or you can do the middle, but you still want it tight. Like, you don't want it so that there's, you know, tons of space, because it's not doing anything. For this example, I'm just going to go ahead and put it high and tight, just to kind of show you. Sorry, now my ducks are playing with balls. This is how he personally works. It's another way to communicate with your dog. So let me hook it up. And again, it's like the slip chain where if he pulls, it's going to tighten a little bit and it's going to give that correction. And they'll learn, you know, with me, heel, when they're beside you, they notice it'll loosen up. This also works really well for pulling. So does the slip chain, but I find personally, if dogs are heavy pullers, the slip chain tends to not be as effective as a prong. Harnesses promote pulling, so I don't recommend them. Because most dogs get that self-gratification out of pulling into the harness. Head halters, I would not recommend for heavy pullers again, because it can cause damage to not only their nasal bones and nasal passages, but also their necks, because they will strain and, you know, neck problems later. Shadow, my service dog, he uses a head halter, but he's never been a heavy puller. It's, at this point, really just my choice of how to communicate to him, because I don't have to say anything. I can just give a little, you know, literally just a slight, he won't even know I'm doing it, and he will know what I want. So let me show you this one. Come on, with me. Again, it depends on how close or how far away you want the heel. See? Knows what he's doing. Again, you can do it as close as far as you want. I'm fairly certain he showed us examples of both of that. But I hope that helps and gives you guys a chance to kind of see me in action in a way. But, alright, it's Jessie Lynn Dillon with Walking with My Shadow and Fat Boy. Instagram, Facebook, both